Hey guys, this is Hank and this is Lars. Of course, I am in Houston. Hello. And Lars is in Sweden. And we're back at it again. And very happy to be back at it again. We just did a session and wow, wait till you hear what was said. Pretty amazing. Now, Lars, first of all, you said it was like 2 hours and 20 something minutes. I say it probably took 15 minutes. It didn't take 15 minutes, but you know I like to go through the whole process in the beginning just to make sure you're nice and grounded and everything like that. But
and I remember that went very fast because this extension on my tailbone was so quick.
Yes.
It was swish, and I was in the middle of the earth.
Oh, okay. And so, because I didn't stay long, I already knew how fast you got there and everything. Yeah. And what was you went to the 11th? Dimension.
Yeah, 11th.
Oh,
dimension.
Yes. Do you remember what do you remember?
Not much of it because I was multitasking. Sometimes I was aware of what's going on, but more in a feeling kind of way, not in the mind, but in the feeling what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Myra.
And, I was also. She reprimanded me during this session and asked me why. What? Not directly in this language, but. What the fuck haven't you put that out already? She said to me. So she reprimanded me.
Oh, you said not in that language?
No, not exactly, but the meaning was because she talked with pictures and feelings to me almost all the time.
So when you say put out this information, what information is she talking about?
I guess she was referring to our questions, and she said, "You know this, why haven't you put it out?" So.
Oh, whenever I start asking your questions in the beginning.
Yeah, maybe it was then. I have no perception of timeline now. Not at all. Yeah.
So that's how I started it. I started with just talking to you. At first, I mean, once we got there, she said, "This is the Myra from the 11th collective." Oh, from the Orion Council, she said.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was like, "Ooh, interesting." And first thing I thought was Krista Rhea, because she always channels the Orion Council. And I didn't say anything. I almost said it, but I was like, no, I don't want to name drop. And I don't know. I just didn't say anything. But I really wanted to say, "Oh, Krista Rhea, are you familiar with her?" And, you know, but awesome. She's now a subscriber, so I can't. I think I'm going to leave her a message and say, "Krista, I did a session and the Orion Council came through." And so, you know, if you know what I mean, because she's been wanting. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that. She's been wanting to do a QHHT session. I've never communicated with her before, and I told her I would do one with her for free just because she's such an awesome person. So, all right, there you go, Chris.
As long as she doesn't go anyone's errand.
Oh no, she's totally the real deal. And so, all right, hush your mouth, young man.
That was a bad joke.
Okay.
But it was internal joke.
Okay, yeah. So no one understood except for the hand. No, I'm joking. Oh gosh. So anyway,
But it felt really good. But I think I was laying on my side because I little numb in my shoulder.
You were laying on your side. I asked about you raising everything that I said, that I told you before we started the session, that I felt like I was getting. She said the exact same thing.
Okay.
So I'm surprised she didn't ask you. I say to you, why are you asking these questions when you already know the answers? Or, you know, but
because I think they know we're putting this out, so it's not just for you and me, it's for so many more.
Yeah, and they're paying attention though too.
Yeah,
so,
sure. They already know what we were talking about before.
And how are they raising your vibrations? And they didn't say, and they said, you're raising your vibrations, because basically there's only one. Almost literally the exact same thing that I said.
Yeah.
In the beginning. Yeah. And then, your mom, and you already knew what I mean.
Yeah, I remember that she haven't really adjusted yet to her new state.
So yes, so to speak. Yes.
Just give her a little time, and I will be able to communicate directly. But my grandfather steps in sometimes and give her greetings to me, so it's good.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
And so it started with, questioning. We were questioning about, our interaction for the past month or whatever. And of course, we were really good. We didn't bring up names and this, that, or the other, but the first thing that she said, Myra said, is, I'm so happy that you guys have worked out whatever, and that it's about time you guys got your she didn't say ass back together. Got it back together, and because this work is so important, and especially right now. And I was very, very happy to get that. And interestingly enough, I got that part, and then I was taping it with that viewer thing that I was telling you about, and then it went out, and I was like, oh crap. And so then I thank God I had this one already running. So I really held this up in my hand for 2 hours, almost like the way I'm holding it up now. And so.
Oh, you're still recording.
Well, I'm recording this new part because I wanted for us to discuss what was being said and what we did say. And I always find that our conversations afterwards are they're pretty awesome. It's like, oh my gosh. When we do these sessions and then we have these amazing conversations afterwards, I almost felt like we need to keep them. So we're not going to say anything. Of course, we never say anything inappropriate. Not you and me, but
I do something.
We might use a little bit of profanity or whatever. But God, just go to someone else's who's much more kinder and gentler than us. So
they are not forced to listen to us.
Yeah, most people pretty much resonate with us. But so it started talking about, can we be deceived in these messages or whatever? And that's what the questions that I was asking. And she answered so clear about how we're not able to be deceived in these. And then we got later deep into it. And then I was asking about being militarily abducted. And this was very at the end, but it was happening while I was in the military. And they used drugs on me while I had that surgery. And that's because I don't know how they found out that I had those connections or whatever, but somehow they found out. They asked me questions or whatever, and the questions they couldn't get the answer out of me anyway. So
sometimes when I put you under in this anesthetic,
yes,
then you can sometimes start to talk, and maybe they heard something and wanted to explore that.
Well, obviously they did or whatever, but they didn't get any information. I didn't really go into deep detail about about that. I did reference, because it wasn't in a session that you and I had done that we spoke about that. It was in a session that another gentleman and I had done, and he had been MyLabbed, and he gave me all this information, and so that's where those questions were based on that, and then it literally went straight into Corey Good and David Wilcock.
Yeah.
And
I felt a little reduction, or a little. They didn't want to reveal so much because they don't want to put anyone in a bed. I sometimes feel that they're holding back information because they don't want to put anyone out there. They don't want to say directly that he's talking shit.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's out of kindness, I think. Out of love, they don't do that because everyone have a free choice to believe or not to believe. So,
and that's absolutely true. But when you say such, listen, they got good. They're saying they're mixing truth with I don't like we said, I never thought that they were lying, but I thought that maybe they're being deceived or that they're being manipulated or what have you. And of course, they don't think.
Many people think when you say, "Is that the truth?" and someone answered, "No, there's nothing true," then it's resonate to them as they are telling a lie. but that's not always the safe.
Well, and I understand that, and so I made sure. I think I'm almost sure that I made sure that that I really was trying to see it from both ends or whatever. But they're saying I stated all the things that they were saying that I knew absolutely was true, and I never thought that they were, even in that piece that I wrote, I didn't say they're outright lying. They said that they're being deceived, and that's what I wrote in the piece, and that's what ended up on that other website. And I was like, oh my. And so I really want.
What was the answer you got? I have to go back to listen to this.
Dude,
what answer did you get about that?
They said no. I mean, the answer was no, and I was like, oh. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be really controversial when we let this one out. But then it went on for a while, but I broke down everything that they were saying. But listen, they're telling this to millions of people all over the planet, and it's like, come on, you guys. Well, not that they're doing it on purpose or whatever. They're doing it the way that they see it, and that's just the way that I'm perceiving it. They're just doing it the way that they're receiving it. And so, or maybe not. We'll find.
There can also be a meaning behind every action you take, because I don't say that this man doing this out of anything else. But my feeling is it's also generating some money for him and attention to him. So it's a little bit out of the ego also.
Well, when you're listening to David, I mean, he has a huge ego, which, in a sense, I don't know. At first it annoyed me, but now I almost like it, because it's like he's almost telling you, you don't have to listen to me. You know what I mean?
No,
you don't have to listen to me. Everyone has free will. Don't listen to me. You don't like the way I sound? You don't like what I'm saying? Don't listen.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And so, but even that to me, when you hit so blatant or whatever, it becomes suspect, because I'm not stupid, and my mind is very analytical. So I'm always trying to break it down to try and get to the bottom of what someone's intentions are and why do I feel strange when I'm listening. And so anyway, we went there, and
what we have to listen to, the feeling we get. If someone talking to you and they're talking shit, and if you feel that this is not the correct thing, then you have to analyze, is it my fear that telling me this is wrong, or is it my intuition telling me this is wrong? So
yes.
It's very important to distinguish between that.
And that's correct, because remember the piece that I wrote, and I mean, I told you I wrote that thing 4 times last night. I was like, no, I don't think that I was trying to put how I felt down, but every time that when I finished it, normally when I write a piece, it's just I put it out there, it's done, and I don't have to. I edit it when I write the book so that they're so they really make sense or whatever. But I was just like, no, I don't think I'm saying it right. So I kept adjusting until I got, and then I read it to you, and then you heard it or whatever. So then,
and I liked it because it resonated with my feelings totally.
Well, I'm going to post that first, and then I'm going to post this one directly behind it. I know it's midnight in Sweden or whatever, but
no problem, because I take a nap.
Oh, okay. So they went into the whole voice of God, and then I broke it down with the breakaway civilization and that whole thing, and they were very honest about that as well. And so it's like, oh my goodness, I say, oh my goodness. And I was like, I just asked all the things. And I even got to a point, I asked about the law of one. I asked about Ra. They explained between the avian and the blue sphere, the spheres. And I reiterated to make sure that I understood what to make sure that they were clear at who I thought what was. And then after I said that, then they even clarified even more. I asked about Donald Trump. They don't really like to get into political matters, and I already know that but I said, well, whatever you can relinquish, I know you'll tell me, and what you can't, you don't or won't speak on it. And so, you know me, I did a little digging, and so I got a little bit about Trump. I got a little about Hillary.
What did you thought about Trump?
He was working out of the ego and him.
That's not the big news.
Exactly, and Hillary as well, but they didn't go into, you know, all the crimes and everything. I didn't even go into that. I was like, I'm not trying to assassinate her personality or whatever, because too many, you know, you just read just enough videos out there. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna, you know, that's like trying to grab a mean pit bull by the tail. You know what I'm saying?
No, we're not trying to debunk anyone because
exactly.
They're doing a good job at that.
All by themselves. Let the courts decide all that. And then I asked about Barack Obama, and they really said some good things about Barack. And these are things that I felt in my heart, and not just because he's a man of color. And so, but that was really, really good. And so I was very happy. You know, I'm not like I was asking the questions and you were answering or what have you. And so,
you think I should lock my door now so that no one coming to get me?
No, I don't think you have anything to worry about. Myra is not going to allow any of that type of thing to happen.
No, maybe not.
And then Atlantis and Lemuria, I went in on that. It was awesome, dude. I mean, and then all kind of other things started slipping into my mind. And then Isabel was there, and she was helping you speak good English. And then she's like, well, you sure you don't have any more questions? Lars is fine. He's getting used to this.
She loved to make jokes.
Yes, and I love that. Yes. And so that was really awesome. So anyway, you're gonna have to send this to me. I'm gonna finish up this this video right here, right now. All right. So before I get rid of it, all right, guys, we're getting ready to post this. I don't know how long it'll take to post, but I'll post it. I'll connect the Ethernet cord so it'll go faster instead of Wi-Fi, which is normally what takes it to take overnight. And thank you very much for listening. I do appreciate it. Before I say, take all of it with a grain of salt. I'm not asking you to believe a word of what I say. I'm not asking you to believe a word of what Lars said while he was induced. We're just presenting it as we received it. Love and light. Namaste. You can say bye, Lars.
Yeah, bye-bye. Hope to hear you soon again.
Very good.